course, the doggies start barking. I can't win. Good Monday morning, ladies. How are you? Great to see you. Hi, Lynn.
Hi, Shanda.
Good Monday morning.
Good morning. How was your weekend, ladies? What'd you do? Anything fun?
Spent the weekend on the farm with my son.
On the farm. Shanda, what'd you do? Spend it in that Olympic-sized pool you have in your front yard?
No, I got sucked into a Bethany Hughes Greek Odyssey tour of ancient Greece, so I did that for quite a few hours.
What is that? A movie or a excursion overseas?
Oh, I'm addicted to these fallen civilization type of documentaries. So.
Oh my God, you're a historian on top of all your other wonderful qualities. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Well, you know what I did this weekend? I was called a Russian bot, a Russian troll, a Putin puppet, all that stuff. And here's I wear that with a badge of honor. But for everybody that I wasn't kidding, I found my marbles. See my marbles here? I found my marbles this weekend.
The old ones are worth more.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You know, I think my wife would say that, but I don't know. Now the old marbles are worth more. It's like a fine wine. It just gets better with age. We hope so. Good morning, Barbara. Hey, Al. Melissa, Vermont is in the house. And then who else we got in here? We got Our Revolution, Coastal Washington. Now, Our Revolution, Coastal Washington. Do we know who that is, Shanda?
Who could that be?
I don't know, but they're good peeps because they're Our Revolution.
They're darn good peeps.
They're darn good peeps. So, yeah, we got 9 in the house, and good morning, everybody. My comrades and I are going to do a little bit of exposition on Russian meddling. And I think Crystal out of the gate made a good point, but let's hear her out, and then I'll expand on this, and then we'll go to some other not so fun stories. This is fun. Why is this fun? Because it's the same bullshit on a different day.
Well, while the burning embers of Russiagate never died from 2016, it is already being stoked back into a raging fire for 2020, as if this year wasn't already awesome enough. But this time, there is a little bit of a twist. On Friday, Bill Evanina, the nation's top counterintelligence official, revealed that Russia was once again trying to meddle in the presidential election by targeting, this time, Joe Biden. But he also expanded on their assessment that China and Iran both favor Biden. Now, news outlets, of course, went to great lengths to portray the Russian threat as qualitatively different than the Chinese and Iranian threats, but that is not how counterintelligence officials are actually portraying it. In fact, the NSA co-lead of a joint election security task force with U.S. Cyber Command explicitly rejected such a comparison, saying, Russia, China, Iran, they all have intent, and they all do activities that they think are advancing their best interests. I don't think I would say one is scarier than the other per se. But Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff will hear none of it, although they've spent years now venerating the infallible heroes of the national security blob. Suddenly they've developed minds of their own. Here's Pelosi bristling at the idea that foreign interference might be a mixed bag this cycle.
China would prefer Joe Biden, whether they do, that's their conclusion, that they would prefer Joe Biden. Russia is actively 24/7 interfering in our election. They did so in 2016, and they are doing so now. And they say that to a certain extent, but they need to tell the American people more. The American people, I believe, think they should decide who the president of the United States is, not Vladimir Putin making that decision for us.
There is a huge fundraising deadline coming up.
Oh, Stacy,
you
got
Democrats.
in here. I think that was good enough. You quantum leaped and you fell out of your high chair there, Shanda. I need to fix you really quick.
I know, I was like, there's two of me.
Yeah, there's two of you. Actually, we got you pinned in the wrong window. Let me switch you back, maybe. See, this is
Quantum leaped again.
Quantum leaped, yeah. This is engineering, not so much magic. Let me see what I got here. We're gonna put you back over there where you are. There you go. Now stay there, Lynn. I know it's not your fault. And we're going to put Shanda back. There we go. See how cool that was? There we are. So we have wonderful Wall Street Hill up here chiming in on the interference in the 2020 election is like kids fearing a monster under the bed, except also blaming that monster for them winning in 2016 in the 2016 election. I don't know. What do you ladies think about that again? Are they so worried that Joe Biden doesn't have the cojones to win this election on his merit that they're already making excuses for the loss?
What?
What?
No way.
No.
No way.
Why would they do that? Why would they do that? What do you think, Lynn?
I think it really bothers me how much I'm seeing similar and shared tactics by both Democrats and Republicans. So close to a general election 2020 in the midst of a pandemic, I'm just questioning why our highest leadership, when I'm gonna need your ass to be in there negotiating our stimulus package, making sure the American people have the funding that they need to be able to feed their families. You're talking about Russia spending 24/7 interfering in our elections. First of all, that type of talk is rhetoric, right? Because I'm not disputing whether or not Russia is attempting to, but the thought process of just the exaggeration of 24/7. Why, it's egregious enough that they are meddling. We don't have to make stuff up.
Shanda, what do you think about that? I know you have an opinion.
Well, yeah, I'm waiting for those ever so important and influential memes of Trump shirtless, maybe posing like Jesus, because that's how they won it last time. So please keep your eyes peeled for those. And I don't know, maybe some hacking of some emails. Oh, no, wait, that was WikiLeaks. No. I don't even know how they hacked the last election, so please tell me how they're interfering this election.
They didn't hack the election. All they did was some Ukrainian troll farms. All they did was spend $100,000, and $50,000 of that was after the election, and they were having memes up there
Right.
of Bernie's head on a surfer dude's body that was in some sort of Technicolor. And they were doing memes about Hillary and Trumpy. So whatever. I'm really concerned that the Dems are just doing damage control ahead of a Biden loss because they have so much to lose by doing another Hillary 2.0 in the auspices of a Joe Biden election. It's frightening. So yeah, that's where I'm coming from. I just. Once again, this is going to be a shit show. And I said in the green room earlier, everybody, to Shanda, I go, her position that Biden won't win, and my wishy-washy position that Biden won't win, because I'm looking at the metrics and everything else, and Trump is cratering so bad, as I said back in, March, that's the only way that he won't beat. That's the only way he won't be Biden. And I'm not shoring up my position because if Biden wins, I say, I'm not worthy of all of you that said he was going to win. But this is nuts. I have never seen a campaign on either side so corrupt, so full of divisiveness and bullshit that we have Trump trying to push executive orders, wrenching the power of the purse strings away from the Congress, and a backhanded attack or a stealthy attack possibly on Social Security. And
that's bullshit.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? When he could be really out-lefting the living shit out of Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer right now. But I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I told you guys, I don't think Trump wants another 4 years. I think he's just going to scream sour grapes and say it was rigged, it wasn't fair, the Postal Service is shit, and he's going to walk away, leaving the impression to all of his sycophantic, supporters that our country has rigged elections. Well, no shit. So anyway, go ahead. Tear it up a little bit more, ladies, then we'll move on.
Oh,
If you understand our economics in this country, you understand that the the gutting Social Security argument is complete bullshit and propaganda that's pushed by both sides of the aisle. You know, with the keystroke, we can create what we need for people. It's funny, there's money to bail out the trillionaires every fucking time they need it, but there's never money to bail out, Main Street America and the working class. So we got to educate ourselves on modern monetary theory, and we need to understand the economics of our country.
Yes. Matter of fact, the first time I came on with Amber, that was what I wanted to talk about, but I have not had a chance to finish the book because, we're in the middle of a pandemic, but I definitely recommend it. What is it called? The Deficit Myth.
A book.
The Deficit Myth.
Yeah.
It's by an economist, and I learned
it's a myth. It's a freaking myth.
Politics, I just feel like liars.
Liars.
Right, you're all fools.
They are liars. Let's just get rid of the cap on that and just leave Social Security alone, because you guys chip away any more of the Social Security, which already is not sufficient enough, i.e. no dental care, which makes people sick and die quicker in many cases, and total vision. I mean, they can't even get, sufficient eye care. Give me a break. So, Trump, if you even hint at doing anything to Social Security, you are just destroying your chances with your own base. But that's if they believe it. So, again, it's just a mess.
They don't believe anything.
They don't believe anything, and neither do the Dems. I saw a post.
The sky's not blue.
I saw a post, and I probably should put it up here so we can. But it was showing how the Democrats are so good and the Republicans are so bad on so many issues, and it had a buttload of likes on it. And I was looking at it, and I go, these are mostly social ideological points of view. It's like the Democrats haven't done on any of these things that they're touting about. They haven't accomplished shit for the most part, and neither have the Republicans as far as that. So it was just one of those propaganda posts getting you to think that the Democratic Party's working for you 24/7 when they're only working for you about 2 times, 3 times, 10 times out of 100 times. The other 90 times they're working for the corporate donors. And I want to move to this now. Your friend and mine, Chuck Todd, this weekend had what's his face? What is this guy's name? I can't remember. He's one of Trump's henchmen. It's Shill. It's I'm sorry, Navarro. Is that Peter Navarro or whatever he is? Yeah, White House. Peter Navarro. Yeah, this guy's a real piece of work. But I'm going to play this clip. And let me see.
Hardest working president in history.
Yeah, this is good. It's what's Trump been doing? But this is a good clip. Let me get it going. Let me not mess it up. Everybody's waiting. Shut up, Oz, and play the damn clip.
I want to ask you about a few of these provisions. Some of them look legally dubious here.
Legally dubious.
What gives you confidence that the president has the power to decide when to postpone the collection of taxes?
Well, one of the things I've learned here, Chuck, at the White House, going through a lot of work on executive orders, is what we have the statutory authorities to do. And I'm confident that every single one of those orders which cleared through the Office of Legal Counsel will stand up. If you look, for example, at the eviction,
they won't stand up. Here, let me scroll through this real quick. It's too long of a clip. This is the fun part. I'm going to go halfway and run it to the end.
Back and forth across the table, what you want, respect.
Listen to this guy.
Each other's red lines. You don't make the Republicans play for Planned Parenthood or platforms, for example. This should be easy. The question we've had watching this unfold, the question the president has, is whether the Democrats really are sincere when they come to the table. And I'm not sure. It doesn't help when Speaker Pelosi goes out after every day with her scarves flying and just beats the heck out of us for being cruel people, when in fact you have a president.
But Dr.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, let me ask you this. Where is the president? Why was he at his golf club all weekend? Why isn't he negotiating? Look,
hiding.
I understand
Yeah,
you
let
guys
me
don't like each
respond to
other.
that. That's just
Nancy
not-
Pelosi
hang
and the
on.
president. Well, where is he?
Well,
Why isn't he involved?
Look, you have to understand, this is the hardest working president in history. He works 24/7. He can be at Bedminster, Mar-a-Lago, the Oval Office, or anywhere in between. He can be at the Whirlpool factory like we were in Thursday, celebrating
He could be at
working
McDonald's.
men and women benefiting from tariffs. He's working 24/7. The problem here is Capitol Hill, the swamp.
The swamp.
Two houses that are too far apart. I mean, the Lord and the founding fathers
The Lord!
created executive
Oh,
orders
no.
because
Lord
of
has
partisan
nothing to do
bickering
with-
and divided government.
Or the
That's what
founding
we have here.
fathers.
But the president's taking action. His here is Capitol Hill, the swamp. The two houses that are too far apart. I mean, the Lord and the founding fathers created executive orders because of partisan bickering.
The Lord and the founding father. I had to replay this to make sure.
The partisan bickering. I just cannot stand the posturing and the lies.
Oh my God! Oh, the hardest working president in history. You guys know that he's been dinging the governor of South Dakota to South Dakota. That's where Rushmore is, right? He's been dinging the governor to put his face up there in between
Yeah, he has.
George
You
Washington
end up
and.
with a permanent having to look at his face.
Oh my God! They should definitely bulldoze it at that point. I mean, oh my God! You know, anyway. Never mind. That Peter Navarro, he's really a con artist in the worst way. He's not even good at it. So,
We're not going to see Trump for a while.
well, what is he going to do? Go to Biden's basement and spoon? You cut out there, Shanna.
No, so on Friday at the Whirlpool factory, he mentioned that he was going after big pharma executives and people in power. So he was going to go into hiding for a while because he thinks that they're trying to kill him. And now the right-wing independent media is running with this. You know, I keep an eye on what they're saying. And they're pretty much saying Trump's hiding for his life right now because he's going after powerful and bad people.
He's hiding. He's hiding for his life.
He's hiding for his life right now.
I thought the president doesn't need to go hide. He's got like Secret Service for miles. What's he hiding from?
I mean, we pay a whole lot of money for him to feel safe. So.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there was a video that was released Saturday of him playing catch with the Secret Service, and the QAnon folks are saying that it's a message that the Secret Service has got him and that they're protecting him.
So what is it? A body double that's out there playing catch, or what?
I was a little shocked he could throw the ball.
That requires a lot of mental capacity.
Oh my God!
So keep an eye on that story. And I just want to say, federal taxes do not fund spending. Live it, learn it, know it, because that destroys every one of these bullshit counter talking points that they are putting out on both sides of the aisle.
Please go learn about those things because, man, you'll be angry too.
Right?
Yeah, I think yeah, you would be angry. You'd be very angry. Our friend Ryan Knight is killing it along with our friends at Convo Couch. Please follow Ryan Knight on Twitter and Convo Couch on both. They're just killing it. But Ryan says here, he's tweeting, the Democratic Party and its leadership are refusing to support Medicare for all during the pandemic, the Green New Deal, during a climate crisis, and UBI during the economic crisis. So I mean this sincerely. What is the point of the Democratic Party? Yes, I think you kind of nailed it there, Ryan. So just remember, Ryan, it's but Trump. So, you know.
Trump bad.
So do you two, Lynn, what do you think of Ryan's points there?
I think it's very valid. You know, I actually had a conversation online about a particular seat in a statewide seat. And what I heard from other party leaders was, you know, this person has done great things. But I'm like, okay, but like right now, like status quo great things don't mean anything to me. If you're not out here writing well-written policy, bold and executing, then I'm sorry, I don't want it. take it back, go have a seat. If you're like just a socialite, if you don't really understand like huge budgets, if you don't understand and have relationships, not just regionally in Washington, but across the country, I don't want you in office. Like, and not just relationships where these are your friends. I'm talking about relationships where, like myself, you sit and you solve policy issues over the dinner table, like real shit. So I don't think any of them truly understand, and I get it because I think I've switched over in my mind to the establishment as a local party leader, and I'm very cognizant about keeping myself accountable. You cannot get complacent. You cannot forget why you show up every day and be like, well, I've just been here so long, I get it. You cannot stop listening to the people, and I just really feel like they are not listening.
It's privilege.
Yeah,
it's complete privilege.
And act like you have all the time in the world to get this right. There's always next year. There's always next year. No, there isn't. Like, we're running out of next years. Do you not understand?
Oh, shit. We're running out of next month. I mean, people are getting ready to be, they've lost their jobs. They're getting ready to be tossed out of their homes. Yeah. No, you nail it. I mean, what Ryan's tweeting is being echoed across the country by not just progressives, but by people who are slowly waking up to what's happening around them and the representation that they expect from their representatives they're not getting. They're getting the opposite of that. It's, and my case is, look at this relief package. Now, they knew the deadline on this. They knew when the shit was going to really start hitting the fan. We have talked about it on the show and all the other shows. We're not doing anything special or different. We knew it was July 31st when the shit's going to really start hitting the fan.
Come back when you're ready to negotiate.
Yeah, come back when you're ready to negotiate.
There's to negotiate. Like, what bothers me the most, we could have just been done. Pick a number, give the money to the people. Why are we siphoning it? Like, I'll be honest, both sides are siphoning money to their corporate friends. Yeah. There's no reason why we have to fund all of these different areas getting money. Just give it to the people. They will spend it as they choose. Why do you want to keep making these decisions for everybody?
Well, come on, Len. Come on. Now, Len, you got to be fair.
People would need food stamps if you just give them cash. Stop trying to
figure
out how I spend my money.
Yeah.
Just give it to the people.
Yeah.
It's not yours.
Yeah. Give it to the people. Right. That $5 trillion.
The bus driver that sits arguing with the passengers about the $1.25.
Or wearing a mask.
Just let them on the bus. Like,
exactly.
That $1.25 is not coming out of your check.
Yep.
Chill out.
What do you care for? Exactly.
Yeah. Well,
and they delay it. We're still in our city right now. They just did the first round of CARES Act funding. That was approved in March. This does not work. 4 months later, they are still distributing a federal funded program. This does not make any sense.
Woohoo! That's the way, Lynn.
But Mnuchin says the next round will be faster.
Yeah, it's supposed to come out this week. This week. So, but Len, to be fair, don't you think that the cruise ship corporations should be bailed out? Don't you think that all these big corporations should have got a slice of that $5 trillion that they tossed in?
Because corporations are not people. Because guess what? If they would have gave the money to the people, every person that worked at a corporation would have got a check.
What about the people who are in the corporations? Oh, you just answered that question. Never mind. Yeah, it's just, and it goes back.
What? 1, 2, 3. We voted. Cut the check.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see from Congress.
Yep.
Yeah, so we've got 455 representatives in our Congress, and we're talking about 332 million people in the United States, and 455 people are just flat face planting on everything, and not because of incompetence, because these POSs know exactly what they're doing. They're playing a game of smoke and mirrors in front of the people. They're, Pelosi and Schumer, oh, Donald Trump bad, Mitch McConnell bad, gotta vote him out. What in the hell has the Democratic Party actually done for the 99% in the last, let's be generous, 4 decades compared to what they've done for the corporate, the oligarchs, the corporation class of people in that same time period? I would say they've given the people 2 to 10% leeway, which isn't anything solid on social issues, but on economic issues, it's been totally towards the corporate class, the world oligarchy. Totally. And while we haven't seen gains in labor, raises, and economic viability for that 99%, we have seen hundreds of times over these corporations and these big conglomerates just reap the benefits of our sweat equity in our country, and in fact our patriotism to what we believe is a democracy, but we've actually been feeding their plutocracy on the planet, which is total bullshit. So again, get in the streets, protest, back up Black Lives Matter, get with our revolution, demand Medicare for all in the time of pandemic, don't back down, but we've got to get rid of we got to get rid of Trump. You said that about Bush, and what'd you end up with in 2004? I heard this anybody but Bush bullshit, and guess what? You ended up getting Bush for another 4 years. Didn't work then, might not work now. I mean, Shanda's convinced of it. I'm still, face planting on this pandemic. Something's got to pop, don't you think? What do you think, Shanda? Is it going to pop or what? And then
it's going to pop because it's going to take the people losing their homes. They've lost their jobs. They're going to be losing their homes. Their food is going to be. We're going to have food insecurity so bad probably in the next 6 months between the breakdown of our supply chain and inflation, because that's what's coming. Yeah, what have they done for 40 years? They have implemented a neoliberal agenda, which has turned us into a prison state, a military state. We are a corporatocracy, and we know that. And so to continue to vote for these pieces of shit like Biden, who are an architect, he is an architect of the problems that we are facing right now. Yeah, Trump's a swamp creature and Trump's terrible. But is Trump an architect of this? I think not. Trump is a neolib along with them. He always has been, up until 8 years ago, he was a Democrat. So he's just as much to blame. They all are. But, will we have an election in 83 days? It's hard to say. And who's going to believe the results? If the left loses, they're not going to believe the results. If the right loses, they're not going to believe the results. Either way, the next day we have a problem in the streets.
Anything if we can't agree what facts are.
Exactly. Facts are not facts. Well, what did that piece of shit Giuliani? What did Giuliani say? Facts are not facts.
But I mean, that's kind of been the culture that's created, and that's where I'm confused, because there's been so much effort put on this spin and political rhetoric. How can we recover when we've created so much mistrust and we've taught people that they're not allowed to talk and ask questions?
No, exactly so. And I just want to, we're going to go back in time with this clip, because I didn't realize we were going back in time, because it sounds just like it did then today. But let's just take a listen to this, and you guys can tell me if there's been improvement on the part of the
and his answer
president.
was very revealing.
Mr. Vice President, I got to be honest with you. Over the last 2 weeks or so, I've had a lot of people ask me online every single day, where is Joe Biden? As a candidate for president, are you making yourself visible enough, especially during this crisis? Because it is a fine line to walk. You certainly don't want to be seen as the candidate who is politicizing a pandemic when Americans face this crisis.
Everything that I have done has been designed to be constructive. You may recall I was the first one to call for the president way back in January 17th to take this seriously. A real serious crisis is coming, an article I wrote. I talked about doing the Defense Production Act before anyone came along. I put together a group of people who are outside experts who don't adhere to any party. They've served for 4 different presidents to say, what do we need to do now? I've been on the phone. So the best I can do from my position is to lay out what I think should be done, how to do it, and when it's not being done, say why. The experts say this is what we should be doing. Let's do it.
So his answer is that he was the first one to call for President Trump to call for the Defense Production Act. And now in terms of scale and response to the problem, that obviously barely scratches the surface. But the other issue is it's not even true. Biden did call for the Defense Production Act, actually minutes after Trump had already invoked it from the White House podium. His main response to the coronavirus crisis, as far as I can tell, is pretty much everything Trump has done so far with vague promises about how we apparently should do better.
And there you go again. And I know that Sauger has his followers, but he's really, he's like a broken clock. It's to me, that's what he is. I don't know. He's right twice a day. So anyway, yeah, I'm thinking, has Joe Biden evolved to a better point today when he's actually speaking to the issues? What do you guys think?
I'm sorry, I got wrapped up in the chat, so I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Now, that's Joe Biden. That's you just proved my point. I got wrapped up in my teleprompter. Please contact us at 333. You know the thing. Come on, man. What do you think, Lynn?
I don't know.
I know it's hard.
$1 short. They always are.
I don't know. I just struggle. Because I think I do feel the pull, right? Because I don't know, but I can't take another 4 with Trump.
Well, no, and I'm not advocating. Yeah.
I just can't.
Yeah, I again, like we have a choice. Why do we have a choice?
Yeah, we don't have a choice.
My problem is so we have the choice of voting for Biden, the guy who was instrumental in helping or the object of the rigging of the primary election, the guy who has lied so many times in his career that he had to actually, didn't he have to leave the 1988 campaign because of plagiarism
because
too?
Of lying. Yeah,
lying.
Let's not forget about the crime bill. The architect of putting mass incarceration of everybody, it's proportionately more black and brown, but it's poor whites too.
Yeah.
So it's just the pipeline from school to prison, and all it is a moneymaker for them. He was the architect of this. This wasn't a Republican plan.
That's the one I wanted to get to, because he said something, I architect by design. And that line, I was just like, so, I mean, I know he's apologized for it a bunch of times, but what bothers me about
you don't remember that
apologize, and then when you hear the conversation, they continue to excuse things they've apologized for. If it was unacceptable, it was unacceptable, and it seems like he was making excuses for it in that clip.
Right.
Yeah.
Look,
go ahead.
I'm not ranking on anybody who wants to support Biden or feels they have the fear enough to where they have to vote for Biden. But I just have a message that things are not going to change. We're not going to save the environment. We're not going to fix the problems by supporting a neolib agenda that's just the same right-wing rhetoric that we've been getting for 40 years. It doesn't matter. We're not picking the president. The American people, we don't get to pick the president. We get to pretend to pick the president, but it's going to come down to Goldman Sachs and Citibank, and it's going to come down to who Wall Street wants in there. And honestly, they can control Biden a little better than Trump, I think. So, it'll be ultimately up to them. It won't be up to us. It won't be our individual votes. It won't be our swing states. It will be what they want.
Yeah, it's Trump's a loose cannon for that group. Biden very malleable to whatever they want to do. So, and we haven't even touched on
if he would just stop tweeting.
Where's the hope?
A lot of people would say they're just going to be glad to see the Trump tweets go away, and I don't believe that. True. I think a lot of people,
they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, they're going to still be there. Trump's going to be going down if he happens to.
They're going to get worse.
It's going to be worse. He's going to go full on, and he'll pay somebody to do it. It won't be Trump.
Either way, it's going to get worse, guys. If Trump loses, the very next day, we're going to have all those Trump supporters in the streets screaming about mail-in voting, rig the election, blah, blah, blah. If Biden loses, it's going to be the Russian interference, and we'll have a bunch of pussy hats in the streets screaming and yelling like we did last time.
Yeah.
I just want to know, why'd they stop?
Why'd they stop? Because they were a co-opted neo-lib agenda from the day one. You would never catch me out on the street with those nasty women.
No, and they're not going to go now because they are part of the Joe Biden supporters, because they can't afford to take away from the distraction from attacking Trump. You know, the pussy hats are kind of, you know, that's the other thing. And we haven't even touched on the Me Too's or the Tara Reade accusations, which I find very easy to believe.
Me too.
You know, very easy to believe. You know, and you know, you scream about the code of conduct when you know you had Bill Clinton, who actually did that stuff. What's the definition of is? Well, is taking your cigar and putting it in a woman's private places, Bill, as you know. So, you know, we're the corruption level is so high, and I know we have people in the chat. Well, we don't have a choice. We got to get rid of Trump, and you guys are disparaging Biden, and it's like we're just being honest.
We're just telling you the truth.
You got to know it. Just remember that, and remember how we got to Trump today. It was because of the Bidens, the Clintons, the Obamas, and how they rolled where people. Yeah, go ahead, Lynn. Go ahead.
Sorry, but this is my question. Like, at what point does it become important enough to not continue the status quo? Like, what is it going to take for us to say we can't? I mean, I said this earlier, but like, it just bothers me. What is the minimum? Like, you know, I mean, we allow rapists to lead us. We allow
cops to kill us.
Next, like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
There's no bare minimum. Like, oh, people aren't perfect. I mean, I just think it's acceptable to have, if you want to be the leader of the free world, that, you know, there's some moral compass there. Not a religious compass, a moral compass.
Yeah.
That you stick to.
Yeah.
And I can look back over your life. I'm not saying people don't make mistakes, but these things are mistakes, man. Like, if you got to think about it, the crime bill was not Biden not paying his phone bill. That's a mistake. The crime bill meant he sat with staffers for months. He listened to public comment for months. He listens to statistics for months and still came to the conclusion that locking up the people of this country was acceptable. And that's not a mistake. That is a choice.
Yeah.
That is a choice.
Yeah. It is a choice. You know, if you listen to the Tara Reade accusations, Biden did grab her by the pussy. He didn't just say you can grab him by the pussy. He actually fucking did it. But the fact that we have a choice between a rapist and a possible rapist to be the leader of the free world, that should be null and void. Like, nope, you're done. If he had to leave the race in '88 because he was plagiarizing, why the hell is he still in the race now?
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then it's, you know, they're like, well, you know, he resigned or they stepped down. Well, I think there should be something, eject button. Like, and I get it, you know, that's what they call impeachment, but I don't know. I just feel like you know, right now they're doing the whole thing with Jenny Durkin, right?
Yeah.
I want a petition. Where can I do the petition? I don't want Congress and the Senate deciding if, you know, it's enough. Because, I mean, I don't get it. That was plenty to me. Like, they were so mad about Bill's handy. They spent years, months talking about it, investigating. Like, when I looked at this impeachment, just like, this is not about us. You know, this is about you. Just the hint of the impropriety, in my opinion, was enough.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. So you're going to get Biden in there, and some people are going to go to sleep, and it's not going to happen this time. Your point, Lynn, about we don't have time to screw around with this shit anymore. We've got people that are getting thrown out on the streets today, tomorrow, and days after. We have a planet. I just was reading over on Black Bear, listening to Kevin over there. The Arctic is collapsing. Right now, it is collapsing. And the ramifications of that, we have this global... We can't screw around with this insider politics bullshit anymore. That's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. We're not going to be able to take it anymore. And this year, mark my words, and I'll be happy to mea culpa if it doesn't happen. Mark my words, the biggest changes in the political dichotomy or the paradigm in this country, this year is going to be a stellar, banner year for what changes in our society, not only for the country, but for the world and the planet. So that's what it's going to be. I'm going with that. So again, I think that we should cruise over to Lynn. You brought in this SPD budgets. Council, can you explain this to everyone?
Yeah, so today, the Seattle City Council is going to vote on budget cuts. So they have been reviewing, in response to the community protests, how to cut the budget from the police department, and they wanted to do about a 50% cut. And I'm not sure they thought about all the unintended consequences, or maybe they did.
There's no video to that. They're just going to cut it, right?
No, there is.
There's a video to that?
There's a video.
I thought there's a Cairo video to
We're
that.
going to start at 110.
Oh, yeah, that's it right there. I'm looking right at it. Let's run
It looks like a document. So.
Yeah, okay. No, that's Lynn had it right. I'm all screwed up as usual. Tell me if you guys hear sound.
My first time putting one in.
Do we have sound? Come on, where's the sound?
SPD is bad, right? He said, if you go about this, there is a right way to do it, right? And you have to do it the right way. He's reminding them you have to do it the right way.
For example, council members have to be careful about assuming they can cut programs that are promised in the consent decree.
There's like a dozen different areas of training under the consent decree. And one of them is it requires implicit bias training. Well, guess what the city council just cut? The implicit bias training.
But the council is frustrated.
The culture change we are pushing for and have been pushing for since the consent decree has failed to materialize.
Now, Budget Chair Teresa Mosqueda posted a new amendment to the SPD cuts late Friday. It acknowledges that the consent decree remains in full force and the council will endeavor to rebalance the 2020 budget consistent with the consent decree requirements.
Maybe we'll look at all this and we'll think it's great, right? But you can't just do it, unilaterally.
Now, interestingly, the Guild and the city asked the judge to end that consent decree back in May, but the city asked him to put that on hold when the racial justice protests started.
Lynn, can you tell us exactly what that consent decree means?
Yeah, so I don't know, like 8 years ago, I believe, because of the fact that we have such rampant police brutality in the city of Seattle, the federal government under the Obama administration initiated a consent decree, which means that a federal judge oversees a lot of their department policies and how they handle things. So like they kind of have a principal overseeing their policies. It's not just them. It's not just the police guild. It's almost like a mediator to sit there and make sure that things go appropriately, quote unquote. And so this is a very interesting move. And I'm struggling because I just feel like if you get to the level of being on a city of Seattle city council, you need to fully understand your job duties. And I struggle with this in my city council in Federal Way. I just feel like we're getting people that are electable and they're not city council people. Just because you're electable and people like you and you get votes, do you understand what this legal work is? Because I believe that when they entered into this, maybe good faith, maybe they just really wanted to respond to the public, but there's ways you go about that. Like we were just saying with Joe Biden, you sit down with policy advisors, you sit down and look at statistics, you sit down and look at the legal requirements, you look at the charter of your city before you go and just throw things at the wall like this. So now they've gotten all these protesters feeling like they are actually being heard, but at the same time, you might have single-handedly fucked them at the same time. Because if you do honor their request in this manner, with a vote today, and you go around what the judge wants, well, then he might just put everything back in. So then it was really nothing. And did they know that or not? I would say that I don't know, but I do know that they should have known. And I'm tired of not knowing why they don't know.
So you need to know what you're talking about when you run for office, and you need to at least have the ability to learn about the issues and make informed decisions instead of just running because you're liked and you might have a good presence on camera and everything else. You've actually got to be willing to do the work. So yeah, I get you. And there was a day when I would have been up to that task because I understand that's what you need to do when you run for higher office or an office period, especially in a local jurisdiction, because that to me is one of the most important things these days. And we're having some success, I believe. Shanda, were you going to say something on that, or?
Well, I'm not too informed on this issue because it is Seattle City Council and I'm 100 miles to the west. But I don't have blind faith, but I do have trust that Shama Sawant knows what she's doing and she has a plan. I have worked with her long enough and have been around her organization long enough to know that when they lay something out, they're going to follow through. So I'm just going to kind of kick back and see if this has been a big waste of time, if the judge will shut it down or not. So I really don't have an opinion on this other than I'm just watching it to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I have more confidence.
It's a big day in Seattle.
Yeah.
It is a big day in Seattle.
Yeah, and this how does this connect with defund the police, that movement?
Well, it's actually entirely behind that because that's why they started looking at the funding. And so looking at taking away some things, especially the implicit bias training, that makes sense to me. But let's be real, it ain't working. Like, I haven't seen a decrease, so I'm not sure why that would matter. I get the point from the federal judge, but I don't really see how it would matter. They've ramped up how they assault people.
Exactly.
I follow Sade Smith is a local attorney who is representing protesters. And when you look at the charging documents, it's deplorable. Like, they've not learned much. I mean, this is how you just... They don't really account for much facts. They're just locking people up because they don't like it, right? That is exactly why you have a consent decree.
Okay.
Because that's not how you run a police department. I'm not saying we don't need police, but I don't need police for peaceful protesters.
No, you sure don't.
If Safeway wants to protect their property or any other business owner, hire a security guard.
Exactly.
That's not the taxpayer's responsibility.
Yeah, and how much money of taxpayers go out for police to be at Walmart and Safeway stopping shoplifters every day? Yeah.
Millions.
Why do you get paid overtime, time and a half,
right,
to a parade? This doesn't make sense. Like, and people, why do we still have like horse patrol units? Do you know how much it costs to board a horse?
Yeah.
And maintain a horse? Yeah.
We don't need them.
Yeah.
There's other ways to police. Walk your beat, okay? I don't know, but figure it out.
Yeah.
I know that you can't go into any school and they just get to say, well, we just can't operate this way. And guess what?
They got bikes.
Cutting their funding. So figure it out. Like everybody else, they would have more money to educate our kids, to have mental health services, to do actual social work if the money was in the appropriate departmental budgets, which is not in the police department.
Yeah. So, but we want to continue militarizing them, right? Just to be safe. Is that correct?
Absolutely not. I don't understand why SPD owns a tank.
I don't either. What the hell's that about? Are they going to knock down a building? What's going on there?
If they need to knock down a building, they should call the appropriate department. Sounds like Parks and Rec, not the police.
Quantum,
oh my goodness.
Quantum Leap girl. There you go.
Uh-oh.
Welcome back, Shanda. I mean, you're
I love my grandchildren.
Yeah, your high chair is shrinking there some more. So, Shanda, what is this Tesla thing I've got up here? Is that something you gave me? Is Tesla?
Okay, so this is Chicago last night. Apparently, after a officer-involved shooting, they looted the rich shopping district.
They looted. Who looted it? The cops or
protesters?
Oh, protesters. We think that protesters did it. Okay, let's see what they got to say.
Not the baby cars.
Let me know when you want to cut this if you do.
I think it's short.
Yeah, well, these people in the, is that a garage?
It looks like a Tesla.
Is that
a dealership? Yeah.
And they're stealing Teslas? What are they looting? Do they say?
I guess that they looted just mass stores in the shopping district.
Oh, it's a shopping district.
The elite shopping district in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
That's what we saw a short time ago, and what the alderman had said he had seen downtown this morning as well.
Wow, that's
I'm
little.
not sure if they pulled up in vehicles as well, or if they came on foot. Now you can see they're leaving the store. We can see if they get into those vehicles or not. And they are getting into vehicles right there on the right-hand side of your screen, and those vehicles are pulling off. This is north in Clybourne.
What is going on? This is
They're
great.
stealing Teslas, it looks like.
Well, that's kind of hard to hide.
Oh, that guy?
I mean, maybe he's been being targeted for a reason. I feel like
he is being targeted for a reason. He won't shut his stupid mouth. He's been out there tweeting and supporting Trump, and yeah, he had this comment.
So Musk is a Trump supporter?
Oh, well, yes, he supports corporations and the almighty capital dollar, so of course.
Okay. So these are just I'm not going to call them protesters. I'm going to call them thieves. They're just taking advantage of the situation, right?
Well, you got to understand what's going on in Chicago. You really do. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of unanswered. The Democratic mayor of Chicago is screwing the everyday people. They have been getting screwed over for years and years and years in Chicago, but it's getting so much worse. And with the mass amount of murders that are happening in Chicago, Trump's been threatening to send troops in. I'm really shocked we haven't heard that troops were on their way after this last night.
Yeah, no,
I keep an eye on. Chicago is rising up.
I think Portland. What is Portland? Is 78 days now of protests, Portland, and they've been doing quite well. They made cardboard shields to brace themselves against some of the projectiles and crap that they're throwing back. Now, the feds are supposed to be out of Portland, or are they going to stay, or do you know? Just a quick update.
Well, they're on standby from what I understand.
Okay, so standby in Portland. Well, I'm glad that Portland's showing, some courage of conviction and sticking with this, the Black Lives Matter movement there, and we commend everybody that's in there. I noticed that the mainstream media finally got some courage and started covering it. KOIN, a CBS affiliate, has been running down there lately. But who knows what they're pushing? What's this mass protest in Beirut? Is this BBC, Shanda?
This is a foreshadowing of what's going to come. They call this the seat of protest for the world. So they've got ropes and they're calling for public hangings.
They are of public hangings of who?
Of their elected officials.
Wow, they're going to start a trend. How much of this do I play? Just a few seconds, or?
Well, it's 3 minutes long. I think you can play the whole thing.
All right.
Cut it wherever.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Capital Beirut, in anger at the country's leaders after this week's devastating explosion in the port area of the city. Some protesters have stormed the foreign ministry building, declaring it the seat of the revolution. The country's prime minister called for early elections as riot police fired tear gas at some demonstrators throwing stones, and sounds of gunfire could be heard coming from central Martyrs Square. Tuesday's blast was caused when a huge stock of ammonium nitrate blew up, killing at least 158 people and leaving more than 300,000 homeless. Our Middle East correspondent Quentin Somerville reports now from Beirut.
This is Lebanon's rage against the elite. Here's what they think of their politicians.
Ooh, I like that.
As they passed through their city's destroyed streets, the protesters' anger grew. They called the names of the 160 people killed by this week's explosion. Among them, 43 Syrians and the wife of the Dutch ambassador to Lebanon. They carried pictures of the dead. Thousands more are injured.
The Lebanese have long been angry with their government, but now there is a new fury here on the streets. Not a single government official has resigned following the disaster at the nearby port.
In a city still reeling from the shock of the blast, their government unleashed its own force.
The protests have barely started, and already there's tear gas coming in here from all sides.
We're rebels, free men, said this man. They fired directly at us. The protesters breached a number of government buildings. There were reports of rubber bullets being fired too. These weren't just hardcore protesters. Lebanese of all walks of life joined the demo too. Among them, Rola Stefan.
Jesus.
Earlier she showed us her destroyed apartment. The family's business was in the port too.
Everyone is to blame for where we are today, for losing our money, for losing our jobs, for losing our businesses, for losing our homes, for losing our loved ones, our friends, everything. They are all to be blamed. They are all to be hanged.
In the morning, at the port, Prime Minister Hassan Diab acknowledged the anger, but took little responsibility.
Absolutely, they have the right to be angry and furious, not just because of this. This is absolutely diabolical what happened, but however, they are also furious even before that for 3 decades of unbelievable corruption.
But the people here are sick of being ignored. The Lebanese have long known that misrule was ruining their country, but few realised it would destroy their capital and their lives. Quentin Somerville, BBC News, Beirut.
Let me stop that before I.
Pretty shocking, huh?
Yeah, no, it's beyond shocking. That was the prime minister.
He hasn't shown his face on the streets since the explosion. French president or prime minister, whatever the hell he is, Macron,
yeah.
He showed up there 2 days ago. But you know why he showed up? So he could bring tear gas. The tear gas that's being used on these protesters is French tear gas.
That's a shame.
No, that's pretty sad. I mean, my heart goes out to those people in the sincerest way, but at the same time, you know, holding those nooses up, and they should be hanged. If your town or jurisdiction got blown up, no matter what, you know, the reason, whether it was incompetence or poor safety with, you know, 27, how many 100 tons of owning, you know, that's just, you know, that's incompetence, and that's the shittiest leadership. But, you know, you could even have some crazy person that would go by there with a torch and throw it in on that ammonium nitrate. So you're whatever the reason, if it was Mossad agents or CIA
smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, somebody getting pissed. It's just like, yeah, and all these people died because of your incompetence. So I don't know exactly how their political system works over there, but they've got the same.
They don't either.
Yeah, well, they got the same shitty stuff going on, obviously, with their government as we do ours. And I think those nooses are coming to a town near you soon. If people start getting thrown out on the streets, it's tantamount to having your whole livelihood destroyed, because what are you going to do? How are you going to eat? Where are you going to sleep? Where are you going to bathe? You know, all that stuff. So,
you know, we've evolved as a human race and a species over the last, you know, couple hundred years. But you go back to the French Revolution. Are we more civilized than we were during the French Revolution? I mean, when you have no food, you have no house, you have no security, and you're in the streets, are we going to be more civilized than they were? Those 18 months that they guillotined, you know, hundreds, thousands of people? I think not. I think when push comes to shove, the elite better be goddamn scared, because the people are tired of being crushed. We're tired of the boot on our neck.
Well, Lynn, like you just said earlier, what is it going to take to wake people up and really make things change? What happens? What do you think? What's it going to take?
I think that we're getting dangerously close. You know, like Shannon just said, like, I think people are getting extremely tired. And the reality is, especially in this country, they don't have any excuses, right? Like, other countries don't have the ability to print money, but we do. So even being in this predicament we're in right now is just disgusting. But what I also think about that is we've long been in denial. We are not far from a third world country. We just have nicer fucking toys.
We are. We just won't admit it.
Yeah, we are.
Like, we have really nice construction, but our infrastructure is similar, and we just need to be honest with ourselves.
Right.
The only reason why we're not out doing the same thing collectively like that is because we're just too proud to admit we're the same situation.
Well, yeah.
So we don't have power, though. You know, these guys in Beirut are going 23 hours a day without power. And that was before the explosion. So their power plant has been decimated by this explosion. So, I mean, they don't have the basic fundamentals to survive. You know, if you don't have power, you don't have water. We know that for a lot of wells. So, you know, it's just going to take a little bit for that to happen. We know our power infrastructure in this country is a joke. You know, our power grids are a joke. It's just going to take that one thing, I think, that's going to take us over the tipping point.
Well,
I think we already saw it. Like, I know me, myself personally, right? I think we're starting to see that shift. When CHOP first happened in Seattle, I lost a significant amount of bandwidth. Like, right? You know, I shoot at home, all that. Like, the internet was incredibly choppy. I had to buy a house phone. I don't know anybody in my generation that owns a house phone.
Right.
But this sucker was not helpful.
Yeah.
So it's coming. I think people are just like, the internet, I think, is our tipping point. I don't believe that.
I agree. Absolutely.
But that Wi-Fi, when school goes back,
yeah,
I think people should start to get really nervous, because that's what tipped it out over here. When school got out, that's when my internet got better.
Right.
Yeah,
go all the way back, and then you got to think, a lot of kids just wasn't going to school back, you know, then in March. There was no real guidance. You know, it was brand new. But this, and also, if you're not really familiar with the school structure, the second half of the year is basically just busy work.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so from a learning perspective, educators weren't that worried. They had already taught the bulk because they teach heavy at the beginning of the year.
Right.
So we're going to have a completely different experience when September hits.
Yes.
I don't think people realize how much.
No, you're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and Lynn, I think you made the point. I was going to bring it up. When they cut off our ability to communicate like this, and with our smartphones, and plus that has an impact on the entertainment, the mindless entertainment that lets our brains rest for a little while.
Yeah.
I was telling my wife the other day and my sister, I was saying, if we didn't have this garbage to preoccupy ourselves in our downtime to let our bandwidth maybe heal up, then things will really get stressful. So I think other than having food, which is already starting to be a big problem more and more every day, just the communications aspect of our infrastructure, if that goes down, and that includes the power grids everywhere and things like that, we're looking at a very, I'm going to say, classic future, going back to where we were when we were just trying to put this stuff together and we have brownouts and party lines and all this stuff. We're digressing daily, not only with our culture, but with our infrastructure, because it's falling apart. But that being
5G is going to save us all.
yeah, it's going to barbecue your shit even more. So it's going to.
Oh, that's a conspiracy.
Yeah,
theory.
I was thinking the other day, I think 5G is the fluoride of today. I just, it's poison. They're poisoning us with that. I don't want to get into the 5G thing. I know.
We don't have time for that.
We don't have time for that, whatever. It's, but MMT, modern monetary theory, the fact is they've been printing money and they've been devaluating the dollar for decades, okay? So, yeah, that's a real thing. If you can print money only because you can get away with it, why is that? Because that's what the fossil fuel, the oil's based on the U.S. dollar. Once they take it off there, you can take your printed money and stuff it because it's not going to be worth a damn thing. So, again, it's been a great day Monday. We had a great rousing round of chat with everybody. Thank you so much. Snorky, Vote Green, Cheeseman, Keith Hayes, Jilly. I didn't say hi to Jilly this morning, Melissa, Al, everybody.
Sandy in here. Poor Sandy. Her husband's sick, and they think it might be COVID.
Oh my God! I'm watching more and more people, friends and high-profile people, get COVID. I read this morning, Antonio Banderas has COVID now.
Oh, no.
So
Melanie better stay clear.
They are. They've been spending time together. Actually, I think it's his birthday or somebody's birthday. But that doesn't matter. They're just people. But Sandy's husband, part of our family here.
The elite are not just people.
Yes, they are. Alyssa Milana, Deborah Bessing, they're just people, aren't they?
Gated community.
The Gators. Wait, can we call them the Gators?
Limousine libs, that's what I call them.
Yeah, let's leave with some words of wisdom from Chuck again. I want to point this out. Chuck Schumer.
I'd rather do the founding fathers and the God one.
Yeah, oh my God! If we don't open the schools, you're going to hurt the economy significantly, but you might not kill a bunch of people if you don't open schools. You might not. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for that.
Before we go into closing, Oz, I just want to say, Lynn, it is so great having you here with us. I love your crown. I don't know what that is.
That is great. That is great. That is great. That is great. It is so great. I'm having some technical difficulty.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Okay.
And you should begin to see Black women as queens.
That's right. You guys are queens.
Yes, queen.
But sometimes a little bit more reminding is needed in
That's right.
I hear you, and it's such a pleasure having you on board. We hope we can make it on a very regular basis, Lynn. We so enjoy your point of view, and
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for y'all.
I know. I'm not a morning person either. I get up about 6 every morning to make the show. So it's been a transition, but I really enjoy it. I have fun with all of our guests, and I do hope that you'll pop on with us.
Yeah.
Yes, anytime.
Yeah,
we're not Thursdays at 8:30.
Yeah, no, that's okay. We're not going to be doing Thursdays because Oz needs a
Thursday's day off.
Yeah, it's a day off. Sunday and Thursdays for Oz. He's got to keep some sanity and.
He acts like he's a human being and needs rest or something.
Yeah, I think that's what my marbles told me. It said you better start taking some days off.
Talking to your marbles.
Yeah, or we're
talk back?
we're gonna split again if you don't take some days off, man. So that's what they told me. As far as our algo song today, Shanda gave me one we're gonna use it tomorrow, but today I thought we'd do a kind of a classic Monday, and this isn't it. This isn't it. Let me see if I can find it. Say something. Talk about something for like a minute. Talk about something for a minute. Yeah, say something. Say something. I need to get the
Check us out on Rockfin, guys.
Yeah.
We need you over there hitting the like button. I mean, if you're just going to watch a playback after, say you missed the show, please go to Rockfin because we get a lot of pressure on us to really start promoting Rockfin.
Yeah, we really do. And we do want to promote Rockfin. And, the more things we get on, the better. And we may be doing a candidate interview tomorrow with Maria Strada, which we all love Maria Strada. I think we do.
Yeah, is this the one via Convo Couch?
Yeah, I think Convo Couch has got us talking to, some candidates down there. One of them is going to be Maria Strada. I love Maria Strada. So hopefully we'll get her on. If not, you'll be able to catch her on Convo Couch, I believe, tomorrow afternoon sometime.
We love our peeps, our family.
Yeah, Convo Couch just rocks it. We are so ideologically in line with them on just about everything. So again, Convo Couch, Ryan Knight, Savage Joy, The Natural Progressive, No Joke on Saturday, The Accidental Activist, Brave New Future. That's just the Green Report. The Green. Alex is going to be here with us Wednesday, I think. So Lynn, if you haven't met Alex, she's wonderful. She's sweet,
Whitney.
great. Yeah, and Whitney Alex. So now I've got the right outgo song. This is Classic Monday, and I hope this is it. Yeah, Monday.
Thank you, Jilly.
Monday. The hey Jilly, thank you so much, Jilly. We love you too. This is a classic Monday, so we're gonna go out with Monday from the Mamas and Papas cover.
Monday, so good to me. Monday morning, it was all I hoped it would be. Oh, Monday morning, couldn't guarantee that Monday evening you would still be here with me. Monday, can't trust that day. Monday, sometimes it just turns out that way. Oh, Monday morning, you gave me no warning of what was to be. Oh, Monday, how could you leave and not take me? Every other day, every other day of the week is fine, yeah. But whenever Monday comes, you can find me crying.